everyone. Brandon here, and I am sitting here with Dr. Kevin Hall. Dr. Hall is a professor with Liberty University, author of several books, and a local counselor. So in such a time as this, in which many of us are experiencing stress, anxiety, worry, we thought it necessary to have this conversation about mental health. So Dr. Hall, thank you so much for being here. And can you just help us understand, what is stress doing to our brains right now?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is a great opportunity. If we're going to talk about stress, we got to talk about the brain. And so one good way to visualize our brains is I just simply use my fist.
Okay.
We have the front part, the top part of the brain. We have the middle brain, and then we have the lower part of the brain, which is known as the brain stem. And when we're stressed, this brain stem lights up. And so also known as the sympathetic nervous system, when we're confronted with a threat like this situation, our brain shifts into action to get us out of danger. And so this lower part, this fight, flight, freeze, is what is designed to take us away from danger. This situation is extra problematic because there is no way of getting away from it. And so it's like a three-headed dragon. We've got the unknown. We've got a broken normal. So there's a having to adjust to new routines, and we don't have our familiarity. And then we're also out of relationship. So the people that we're used to seeing, connecting with, that's been removed. And so this situation triggers that fight or flight, and long-term triggering of the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, creates the drain of the energy that we have.
Yeah, so that's explaining maybe a little bit why some days I just feel like I have nothing left, because we've got 4 kids. They're not going to school anymore. We're doing virtual school.
Correct.
And we've got a whole new rhythm as a family. Of course, we're not getting to see our family and friends like we would like to see. And so some days I just feel drained, and it's happening because of this three-headed beast that we're all experiencing right now.
Exactly. The worst type of fear for us as humans is the unknown. There's 2 major fears we have that we're born with and we carry till the day we die: the fear of death and the fear of abandonment. And so the unknown is really a killer.
Wow. So what are some of the short-term effects that we're going to see in our bodies or mentally? What are some of the things that we just need to be on the lookout for short-term?
Short-term effects of this type of stress is, first of all, frustration, periods of panic that are connected to thoughts of "I'm not okay." And that's where we really look to the familiar to kind of ground us. For those living in Lakeland, you drive around Lake Hollingsworth, there's no people, it's shut down. Even when a hurricane is coming, you'll see people around the lake.
Yes.
You know, it's just one of those things in our community that it's different.
Yes.
Another part of it is lack of concentration. If you notice, it's really hard to concentrate on things. For people having to work from home, this is a huge barrier for them. And then just a general sense of restlessness, sleep problems, the inability to relax.
Yes, I've experienced all those at some level. I have woken up in the middle of the night during this, unlike I normally do. Certainly, I've been frustrated at times, like, when is this going to be over? What's happening here? And then when we're talking about just the ability to concentrate, I know even for my kids doing virtual school, it's just hard for us to put attention and focus, dedicated attention and focus to something. What about long-term effects? What can we see? Because I'm thinking through the grid of hey, I'm suspicious at every handshake now. When 6 weeks ago, I wasn't at all. I'm a hugger, so I enjoy to hug. So what is this going to do to us long-term in terms of relationships even?
Long-term, you see things like despair, hopelessness, withdrawal from family, withdrawal from friends. When people, it's almost like a grieving that goes on. And so you'll see that type of behavior. You'll also see perhaps some aggression, less patience with people, less patience with yourself. And a lot of times it's directed inward. The long-term effect of stress can be a loss of the sense of self, which is probably one of the most destructive things of it. So, and again, back to the brain, when we're stressed, when that brainstem is active, when the fight or flight or freeze is going on, we can't access the top part of our brain, which is where the logic and reasoning is. That's where our memory is. That's where our ability to modulate emotions and interpret the emotions of others. Our language and speech center is connected to that top part of the brain. So stress impedes the ability to think, and it impedes the ability to be grounded to the moment.
Wow. Well, this has been super helpful. We are not done here, but I'm going to kick it back over to Matt and Austin, and then we are going to resume this important conversation.
Great information
So
from Dr. Hull.
Yeah, thank
you
you guys.
so much. We have part 2 of that interview coming up in just a moment, but we actually have a new segment that we would like to share with you guys. Austin, what you have?
Yeah, so we're starting a new segment called Lakeland Gives Back, and what we want to do every week is to highlight some of the organizations in our community that are being a blessing to the community. This week, we are actually highlighting Redemption Church, and we had the opportunity to give out Easter eggs through our children's ministry to some families in the church and to the community. So we got to meet some good people. They got to get out of their house for a minute, and we still did social distancing and had some gloves on and things, but it was still nice to interact with that family. I think we have some footage here for you guys.
That guy looks familiar there.
Oh, really good dancing too. Okay.
Questionable dancer.
Okay, well, that's fair. I will say it was really cool to get to see some people in the midst of all of this. I know a lot of people have been cooped inside, so for them to be able to do a drive-through.
You can almost see the joy on people's faces as they're even pulling in that, hey, it's like human interaction.
I will say that people were very smiling from a distance, right, as they were driving.
Very
up, so
smiling. Very smiling.
Very smiling.
Very smiling.
No, but there was a lot of joy, and I think the fact that the community is all around doing great things is very exciting. So I'm looking forward to this next week too.
Agreed. It's great to see what Lakeland is doing to give back. We actually want to join back with Brandon Paget and Dr. Hull for part 2 of their interview, explaining again mental health anxiety and how it relates to us during this pandemic. Brandon?
Well, welcome back. I'm sitting here with Dr. Kevin Hull. He is a professor at Liberty University. He's a local counselor and author of several books. And we're having this conversation on mental health. And certainly during a season of stress, anxiety, and worry, we have to have this necessary conversation. So Dr. Hull, what are some of the warning signs? Like, let's say that the stress is becoming too much or dangerously high. What are some things that we need to notice and be on the lookout for?
Good question. One of the biggest warning signs is our natural instinct when we feel out of control is to try to soothe ourselves, to get out of fight or flight. The brain and the body naturally try to do that. So the parasympathetic nervous system is always trying to make things equal and to achieve equilibrium. So one of the warning signs is destructive self-soothing. So for anybody out there who's struggling, who struggles with overeating,
Yes,
or struggles with pornography, any type of addiction, you'll notice that in this season, the urge for those things has ramped up because there's an overlay of extra stress. And so the instinct is to soothe that. So those patterns come back. And the other piece of it is that we've lost our ability that we normally use through going to the gym or I'm a swimmer. So right now I can't swim. So I'm realizing what a huge piece of my mental, emotional, and spiritual connectivity is missing. So the other one is a loss of faith. Like I said, when there's that long-term burn of stress, you start to depersonalize. You start to break away from yourself. You lose your sense of self. And so that ramps up the urge to fix it, make it better, and to soothe myself.
Wow. Okay. So this is really, really important. All of you need to be aware of the self-soothing, destructive behaviors. I mean, the ways that we used to cope with stress may not be available like swimming. And we certainly need to be aware of the times in which we're just on edge a little bit. So could you give us just some steps? Like, what are some things that we can do to in a healthy way cope with the stress, the worry, the anxiety? If we're seeing these signs, I mean, red light, red light, red light, we're seeing them. What should we be doing right now to soothe in a healthy way?
Great question. Back to the brain.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there is a way to turn off the fight or flight system, the sympathetic nervous system, the activity of the brainstem, and shift over to upper brain operation. So we have to relax our body. The first thing, get the body relaxed, the mind and the brain will follow. So one exercise that I teach people is simply, and you can do it right now where you're sitting, just simply relax your stomach muscles. Just let your lower abdominal muscles just completely release. Just let your belly just completely go soft. And now take a deep breath. And now release it. And one more. And release. And as that air goes out, just let your belly go soft. And tell me what you feel in your body.
Well, certainly there's a sense of calmness.
Yes.
Just by doing something as simple as that, releasing the belly, breathing, I feel a little more calm.
I saw your shoulders go down. You probably didn't even know that there was tension there. And for those watching, you didn't know I was going to do this with you today. But when you relax the core, there's nowhere in your body that you can be tense. The signal is sent from the body to the brain. There's no danger. So if you imagine a bubble around us right now, in this moment, is there any danger right here, right now? No danger. Is there any virus?
No.
No. Are we sick?
No.
Do you have what you need for this moment?
Yes.
And you're doing everything you're supposed to do in this moment.
Yes.
So where's the fear?
Not here.
No fear, right?
Yeah.
We ground to the moment. And by the way, for those who are Christians, this is where the Holy Spirit is. It's present. It's mindful. It's with us in the moment. So when I leave the moment, I go to the future, which is the abyss. I have no business being there. I have no grounding in the future. God's there, but I can't go there. The past, I go to the memory of the past. It's a murky mire of regret and shame. The future is the fear of the future. And so when I'm pulled from the moment to the abyss, I can't function. And so that's what this type of stress does. It puts us in the what if. So we have to mindfully ground ourselves to the moment.
That's really good.
That's where our faith is active. That's where relationship is. I can't fully listen to my spouse, my children, if I'm not fully present. And so most of us walk through life anyway, pulled. We're pulled to the past. We're pulled to the future. We've got so much going on that when we interact with people, we're only giving them a small percentage of our attention.
Wow.
This is why someone like Mr. Rogers was so powerful. He had that ability to fully connect in the here, in the now, and block everything else out. And people were transformed just from a random encounter. And so relaxing the core, doing breath work, brings us to that grounded, centered space.
Yeah, where we can think logically about things and rationally, and as a believer saying, God's with me, the Holy Spirit's here. And Jesus himself said, hey, don't worry about tomorrow. Today's enough. What you have on your plate is enough. And so grounding in that moment is something that Jesus said a few thousand years ago.
Yes.
Right here, right now. Don't worry about what's to come. This is really helpful. Can you can you give us just a hopeful send-off? Why do we have reason to be hopeful when we do feel so much stress and anxiety and fear?
Well, in the moment, we find our faith is real and active because that's where the Holy Spirit is. That's where reality is. If I ground myself to the moment, like right now, there are parents with a pit of fear in their stomachs because I have to teach my kids today. I've got a middle schooler writing a paper. I've got 2 elementary school kids with math. I don't even know what they're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
And that fear drags that mother or that father or that grandparent out of the now, and it leaves them to be reactive.
Wow.
So being present, being grounded. If you think of the 5 pillars, we've got the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the relational, and the physical. So nurturing each of those, the spiritual with prayer, with Bible reading, the physical with exercise, even though, we're in a different space, we can still exercise our bodies.
We can.
The mental and emotional is through being grounded, through I can check my thoughts. I can access my higher ordered thinking. I can plan when I'm relaxed, when I'm in that space. And then the relational. Who can I reach out to today? Who can I teach? Who can I mentor? And so that whole thing put together gives us hope because it puts us back in the sense of I'm grounded here in the center. I've got my access to my faith. My spiritual self is being nourished. Right now, Romans 8:26 and 27, the Holy Spirit is praying for me. I'm already forgiven. I don't have to be afraid. And so then I can be in full relationship. And the hope here is that, our lives have been so easy for most of us. Our children don't have a reason to really use their faith. This is a great opportunity for a legacy of faith to be handed off, that we went through this awful time. People are getting sick. There are people dying. Here's where our faith becomes real. And as parents and as fellow Christians, we can model that and show this is how you handle these situations.
Yeah, this time is actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to grow deeply in our faith. Even yesterday, spent some time in prayer with my kids. And in the busyness of normal life, that opportunity is not afforded to me often.
Right.
And yet I notice every day I'm with all of my kids and we're together as a family. We're eating more meals together. So there's so much opportunity to do exactly what you're saying. In a time where there's fear, anxiety, frustration, I can actually leverage this by living in the moment and being present with my kids and us doing things that cultivate a strong faith. That's so
Absolutely.
good.
And I've got families who, they're incorporating the breathing with the family. There's some great apps. The Smiling Mind app is a way to, kids can do it. You can do it. Walking through mindfulness, walking through some breathing exercises.
It's good.
So
Say that app one more time so everybody gets it.
The Smiling Mind.
The Smiling Mind. There you go. Well, Dr. Hall, I am so grateful that you joined us today. Thank you for giving us wisdom and how to navigate the stress and the strain of this moment. Grateful for you. I'm going to kick it back over to Austin and Matt.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hull, for that great information that was so relevant right now. Matt, let's try that exercise. I think that was a really good exercise. Breathe in, right? Relax our stomach and breathe in. That was really good.
I feel like it did work.
Yeah,
yes.
nice and relaxing.
I'm less upset with you already.
I'm going to practice that later.
Already. I can feel the stress leaving.
Just leaving. That's good to know. You keep practicing that. Matt, what else do you have for us next?
Hey, thanks for asking. So we are doing a new segment called Go Local. It's a chance for us to highlight what businesses and other organizations are doing to adapt to life in the new normal in the midst of this pandemic. So this week we have our own Holly Hungerford. She is out with the owner and executive chef at 1961, Marcos Fernandez, for an interview to explain what are they doing to adapt and even help feed our community. Holly?
Hey guys, thanks so much. I'm here at 1961 with Marcos Fernandez. How's it going, Marcos?
Really good.
Awesome. We're so thankful that 1961 Restaurant has continued to stay open, and Marcos is supporting our community right now. Tell us what you're doing, Marcos.
So we have decided to offer free kids meals.
Awesome.
There's a lot of kids staying home now, doing all their homework at home. Parents have to stay home, work from home. So it's very challenging to have to cook all the time, work, help your kids study. We decided to provide free kids meals, and it's good to eat a very nice home cooked meal. But we also have like mac and cheese for kids. We're trying to do what we can for the community. We've brought our prices down. We've taken out all the expensive stuff out of our menu.
See that you're wearing a mask.
Yes.
What kind of sanitary practices are you guys doing right now?
So, we're wearing masks. All the guys in the kitchen and the front of the house staff, when delivering food and preparing food, we're all wearing gloves. We're having extensive hand washing practices. So yeah, we're doing everything we can to stay safe, washing your hands. The community's been so supportive, and they support Lakeland so much. They support everything we do. I support Lakeland. I love it here. We've been here for 9 years, and it's amazing. What's the great people driving by, and make it fun when
We
you come and
encourage
visit.
you guys, support local.
Thank you so much, Holly. Man, I am hungry.
That was
after
great.
that.
I am starving.
We had chicken and rice last night. and it was
Have you had their
fantastic.
Cuban?
It's
Their Cuban
very
is one of the
good.
best things I've ever had.
It
You
is-
have to go try 1961. It's amazing.
Very good. It's great to see how people are adapting, again, to life in the new normal. So, hey, Austin, what else do you have for us?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So this week we're also another segment that's great. I needed a good laugh.
Agreed.
Right, we need a good laugh. So
Agreed.
what we want to do is something called Top Memes of the Week, and we have some memes that we've seen from the news feed that we think are good. We want to highlight those with you guys. So Matt, I think you have the first one, right?
I do, yes. So up first, we're going to share these pretty quickly. Here we go. We'll show it. There it is. Day 20 of quarantine. Things are going great.
When you're really
I've made
lonely.
a lot of new friends, and these are my friends. Googly eyes on all the condiments.
Love
I love it.
Love
I
it.
love it.
Yep. All right, number 2 here. Toilet handles and me. So I don't know about you, but I have been drop kicking my toilet handles like it's my only job.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely. All right, so up next we have this one I love. I love Disney characters. It's funny, it's good, it's fantastic. Ariel, the princess. I want to be where the people are, the CDC. No!
They said no. That is the very last thing the CDC wants
They
you to
do
do
not
right now,
want you to
Matt.
be where the people are. That is for sure.
Here we go. Everyone has got an email that starts with this. I hope this email finds you well. It didn't. What do you want? Emails right now. I don't know about you. I've gotten a few. I think you might have sent me one.
It's fantastic. I
Started
did.
like
Now,
that.
This is not related to our current condition, but this is the new way I will rate everything in my life. This is the scale I'm using. It will
love
be
it. Let's hear
based off of a verse from Dr. Dre. No diggity.
Okay.
Hardly any diggity.
Just a tiny bit.
C, a fair amount of diggity.
A good amount.
Or D, an overwhelming
overwhelming
surplus of diggity.
How much is an overwhelming surplus of diggity?
It's a lot of diggity.
What exactly does that look like, all
I'm
that
not
diggity?
sure, but I'm excited
I'm not
to
sure.
find
This
out.
one
What
I'm not a
else?
huge fan of, not super excited. When you show someone something you're really proud of, and they say cool and change the subject, that happens to me far too often, Matt. Far too often.
It does. The only thing, I can literally see that happen.
That otter is kind of terrifying to me, too.
I love it.
little
So this is actually taken from a real story. This happened last week. Not last week. This would have been a couple months ago.
Just a couple.
If this happened last week, we actually need to get your name and number. You need to turn that in. The instructor says, "Welcome to salsa class. Who's ready to learn how to dance?" And me hiding a bag of chips. There's been a misunderstanding. There has
Yeah,
been,
the crinkle behind your back might give it away.
There's been a misunderstanding.
Yeah. This next one, Matt, might possibly be my favorite. It's a sweet woman
I
named
agree.
Karen. She looks like she's going to be going on some kind of water trek with a bunch of people
Odyssey.
here, an Odyssey adventure. Karen is getting into the water with what appears to be the entire supply of Home Depot's tape stretched around her body. It says, probably best to sit this one out, Karen. Karen, all that tape cannot keep you afloat. Okay.
Wow, I agree, Karen. You should sit this one out. Fantastic. If you have a meme that you would like for us to feature during our top memes of the week, The email is in the comments,
Yep.
info@redemptionlakeland.com.
Real
we
easy.
would love to share those weekly. We need great content, and let's be honest.
We want to hear what you have to say.
We're all
What do you think
sitting
is
at
funny?
home. We're all sitting at home
That's
looking
right.
at memes. So send them to us. We'll share them with everyone. Austin, what's coming up this week for Redemption?
Yeah, so hey, make sure you stay tuned because tomorrow at 7 p.m. we have a Good Friday service. It's going to be great content. Tomorrow at 7, make sure you're tuned in. This Sunday is Easter Sunday, Matt. So really exciting. We have 2 services for you to join us online, 9:30 and 11 a.m. Also, really unique thing. So even if you've watched our services in the past few weeks, you're going to want to be there for this Sunday.
Great stuff. So, hey, again, thank you all for joining us for week 2
Yeah,
of
awesome.
Redemption TV. Each week we'll be adding new segment, new bits as we honestly understand how to do a new normal for us as well. Thank you for joining. Be sure to share this video. We hope to see you next Thursday at 1. But before that, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Good Friday.
Tomorrow night.
We'll see you there.
We'll see you there.